Welcome, everyone. We're going to do a webinar tonight on how stress is killing you. Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Steenerson, and I'm a nutritional wellness consultant for almost 40 years now. And I specialize in nutrition, biofeedback, trauma, detoxification, weight loss, and gut health. So let's go right into it and talk about stress because it's the #1 cause of disease. There's 3 types of stress: physical, chemical, and emotional, or what I call spiritual stress. We're going to go into each one of these now and discuss those. So when we look at this, let's first go into chemical stress here. So chemical stress here is related to 2 different things, 2 types of chemical stressors. One is the chemicals, toxins in our food, air, water, our homes, things like chemicals we put onto our body lotions, hairspray, all those types of things all add up, including medications. And vaccines are all accumulating with many, many toxins. The second thing is nutritional deficiencies in our diet, and we'll talk about that also. So when we look at the toxic chemicals, the 84,000 different toxic chemicals in our food, air, and water, we've got to talk about heavy metals as one source. They're found in prenatal vitamins now, baby formulas. We're seeing arsenic, lead, these types of things. Silver fillings are loaded with mercury. Vehicle emissions, lead battery, acids, fertilizers, paints, water infrastructure. We see that there's a lot of lead being put through the pipes of our water infrastructure. And even plastics are loaded with BPA's in them. So when we look at that, this is creating a major problem. Some of the other things that we're seeing is food additives. There's 3,000 different food additives. These are artificial dyes and colors and flavorings, all these things that are put into the American diet, because 66% of the American diet here is processed frankenfood, we call it. It's man-made food that doesn't make your body healthier. We also throw in antibiotics, growth hormone, genetically modified foods as well. These are all things that cause problems with our health in the long run. Chemicals in the home. You know, there are so many different things that we use in the home to clean our homes. And just the inside of our home is 5 times more toxic than the outdoors. The formaldehydes, the nagahides, all the different things, the paints that are in our homes, and when we close those up, we breathe these toxic chemicals. Look at this now. There's 84,000 chemicals used in household items. Only 200 have been tested, and 5 are regulated by the FDA. The last time they updated this was 1976. So I don't know if that concerns you, but it concerns me. Now, the second thing we look at is physical stress. Physical stress starts when we're, oftentimes even at birth it can be. But when we first start to learn to walk, how many times do you think you fall down? I know when I was younger, I took some major falls on my bike. I've had slips and falls on the ice in Minnesota, all kinds of things. We fall downstairs, car accidents, and sports injuries are just to name a few. But we've literally had hundreds of these by the time we're 14 years old. These traumas over time, they're going to start to build up on the body. They're going to start to break down different areas of the body. So when we look at our spine should look like this, with a little curve in our neck, curve in our mid back and a curve in our low back. But when we get injuries, we can get misalignments. And so the spine grows crooked. And it gets too much of a curve in here in the back or in the low back. And that ends up putting pressure on the nerves, causing all kinds of different problems as far as back pain and pain or problems with messages going to the organs in the body. So you could have digestive issues, you could have sleep issues. All of these are related back to the spine. So it's really important that we get our spine checked just like we do our teeth. We go in and get our teeth checked to make sure we don't have cavities to prevent it. Well, we can't see our spine. So we have to have a trained specialist like a chiropractor go in and check these over. When we see chronic long-term misalignments, that's the number one reason I saw in practice for people having hip problems and replacements and knee replacements. So the next thing we've got to do as far as physical is we got to move. Movement throughout the day. The more we move throughout the day, the better off it is. It's better to move throughout the day than to go out and do a half-hour exercise program, because the more times we get up and move, the better it is. Now, we also recommend doing some exercise on a regular basis also. Some walking would be good, jogging. You could do things like, you could do things like yoga. Any of those types of things would be very good. Pilates. Most of these things you can do right at home, though. You could get some things that would do TheraBands that would actually strengthen the muscles up, because we lose muscle as we get older. So the third type of killer, a silent killer I call it, is stress, emotional stress. Now, did you know that when you hold anger towards someone and resentment, those emotions really increase your risk of cancer? If you have constant fear, it can affect your kidney function. Emotions are related to your job, your family, your relationships, and traumas that happen to us all. Emotional and spiritual well-being are tied together. So when we take a look at ourselves, we have to release emotional stress. It's probably one of the most important things that I've ever seen as far as people getting well and also making them sick. So when we release emotional stress through either meditation or prayer or exercise, all these types of things, we get dramatic improvements in our health. I mean, dramatic improvements. And if we don't, sometimes that's the missing piece that allows people to actually get well again. So when we are first conceived, we start out as energy. We start as just energy. It's a spirit, we call it. That spirit has all the things we need in order to form this human being that is you. And when we die, guess what? Our body goes back to dust, but the energy and the spirit lives on. You can't get rid of energy. So in summary, we must detox the toxins out of our body on a regular basis. I recommend there's certain things you can do on a daily basis, like drinking lemon water, that type of thing. There are certain nutrients you can take, certain foods like vegetables that will help to detoxify your system. And I'm a big believer, because of all these toxic chemicals and what they do to our health, is that we need to do a detoxification just like we would change the oil on our car every 3 to 6 months, depending on how sick you are or how much foods and toxins you get exposed to. That's what I call preventative medicine, not waiting till you get sick. We have to eat healthy, organic, chemical-free foods. We have to have your spine and your nerves checked on a regular basis. We have to have daily movement and exercises. We have to reduce the emotional stress. We're never going to get rid of it all, but we have to reduce it, and we have to realize that a lot of the things that we worry about never, ever, ever come to pass. Stay connected to the power that made the body, because that's the power that will heal your body. So hopefully this will help you and give you a few tips on being able to reduce stress. If you have any more questions, please feel free to take a look at getperfecthealth.com, our website, or you can give us a call at 763-300-3456. That's 763-300-3456. All right. This is Dr. Mark, and I hope you have a blessed day.